Alright guys, welcome to Walk and Talk, Sightseeing and Cardio, first edition here at Strength Addicts, powered by Titan Medical Center for all the amazing therapies. We are at the Big 4 Bridge here in Louisville. This bridge was actually built in 1895. It was updated in 1929, taken out of service in 1968, and converted to a bicycle and pedestrian use bridge in 2014. I'm not going to bore you with the walk up to the bridge, but once we're on the bridge, we're going to get this party started. We're going to do some walk and talk, some sightseeing cardio from Louisville to Jeffersonville, Indiana. So here we go. And I'll show you around. There's the whole point of walk and talk. Now we can also talk bodybuilding. We can talk what we see. Maybe have some fun interactions with people. I'm going to go out of my way though to not, just get random people on here. And when there's crowds or whatever, I'm just gonna look over to the side, that sort of thing, be respectful. This is public property, so there is no expectation of privacy in public property. You don't even have to ask permission, but I'm not a jerk, you know what I mean? I don't want to do that. The whole point of this is to get some cardio in, which fulfills the cardiovascular component of staying in shape. And I feel that a lot of people will take benefit from this. I've got another channel on YouTube, Sight Sounds Flavors, which also has its own website, sightsoundsflavors.com, exploringkentucky.com, where I do a lot of really exploring. And I don't see why I can't do that for this, because I think that, look, there's nothing wrong with doing cardio in the gym. I love doing cardio in the gym, but I just feel that to mix it up, like maybe, I don't know, like once a week, twice a week, whatever, doing something like this is kind of cool, I don't want to talk a little bit about Derek Lunsford. And what I want to say about Derek is that, I love all these videos that he's doing, training, and then with his fiance, I believe, and then, eating his meals and all that. It makes me a little uncomfortable that Derek's not qualifying for the Olympia like everybody else, because of the fact that, honestly, if he gets a special invite simply because he decided that he wanted to compete in Open, to me, that's a little unjust, because James Flex Lewis, the Walsh Dragon, the winningest 212 pro in the history of the division, wanted a special invite and did not get one. And Sean Clarita, who is double qualified, has not gotten, it wouldn't be a special invite in his case, it would be more like a special exception, but he has not received that. So I would just, I think I would have an issue with Derek getting a special invite under those circumstances. By the way, you're watching Walk and Talk, Sightseeing and Cardio here at Strength Addicts, powered by Titan Medical Center. We're on the Big 4 Bridge that connects Louisville, Kentucky to Jeffersonville, Indiana. But like I said though, I would have a problem with that, because I feel that, that would just basically be, sort of a free-for-all to sell tickets and booths. And after all, yes, the Olympia is a business, but I believe that the competition, its history, owes more to those that earn their place on the stage than to a few extra dollars that they can make as a result of having Derek Lunsford up there. And plus, Derek looks so good that, he could easily qualify. You know what I mean? There's no reason why he needs to have, these special accommodations that essentially allow him to prepare without having to worry about qualifying. Something that no other competitor really truly has the ability to do, to just prepare without worrying that, he or she may not qualify. I just think that that's a little much. So yeah, I'm just showing you here Jeffersonville. Who's that? Look at him, he's happy, right? cycling away. A lot of cyclists, a lot of runners, you know what I mean? So that's the whole point of walk and talk. And like I said, nothing wrong at all with doing cardio. Lord knows I love to do cardio, but you know, to do your cardio like once a week this way or twice a week is pretty cool.
Chances do not look good.
All right, so let's talk about another topic. We've talked about Martin Fitzwater and Andrew Jack. We've talked about Derek Lunsford. Let me close this out with Big Ramy. Now, we have heard, let me do my little intro again. You're watching Walk and Talk, Sightseeing and Cardio here at Strength Addicts, powered by TitanMedicalCenter.com, your go-to source for all the amazing therapy. So let's talk about Big Ramy as we enter Jeffersonville, Indiana. So here's the deal with Big Ramy, okay? I like Big Ramy. I think Big Ramy is one hell of a nice guy. I've always liked Big Ramy. But the problem with Big Ramy is that he did not qualify for his first Olympia. So to me, that is not the way to start out a legacy. Second of all, he made zero improvements for the 2021 Mr. Olympia. Brandon Curry was more conditioned, put on more size, posed harder, and was relegated to second. So, not impressed with Ramy's first win, definitely not impressed with Ramy's second win. And for his potentially third win, let's take the stairs here. You know, he put out that dreadful photo with, I believe it was his right delt looking really gnarly, a lot bigger than his left delt, which is just, you know, just ridiculous. And what's really ridiculous is the fact that he picked this photo to put out. It wasn't, you know, taken by some troll. It wasn't a screen grab from a video. It wasn't altered. You know, it was his picture. It was, I guess, in his mind. Now, granted, yes, his waist is tiny, you know what I mean? His midsection is controlled. You know, everything is on point except for the fact that you've got one shoulder dramatically bigger than the other, and that looks clearly like you're either, you know, using an SEO, you had a bad gear shot, maybe it's scar tissue. I don't think it's scar tissue because it wasn't there a month or two ago. Scar tissue doesn't develop that quickly, I don't think. I'm not a doctor again, so I don't know, but it's just, really, it's kind of like par for the course at this point, because Big Ramy has not been an active champion. Big Ramy has not been an active ambassador. Big Ramy has a track record of not making improvements. And what are his consequences? You know what I mean? Like, what does he have to fear? If he looked like dog crap in 2021 and Brandon put on muscle, came in more conditioned, posed harder, worked on weak points, and, you know, Ramy still retained the title, what consequences, pray tell, does he have if he puts out a picture with one delt bigger than the other, or, you know, looks like absolute trash like he did last year? He's still going to retain the title. At least in his mind, that may be the way he's thinking. So it's just one of those things, guys. You know, another analogy, for example, you know, I feel like a lot of people have a good conscience and they don't need the law. They don't need the fear of tickets and prison to do the right thing. But think about how many people do. Think about what society would be like if people did not have to stop at that stop sign because they would not get a ticket, and they, you know, they could, you know, blow through this, crash people, hurt people, maim people, and not go to prison. Imagine if people could, like, lay down on the sidewalk drunk and go to sleep and not get arrested. You know, just things like that. Would society look like this if there were no laws? And I think the answer is clearly that it wouldn't, right? Sure, a lot of people would be conscientious, but most would not. Same thing with bodybuilding and any competition. If you're not rewarded for improvements, you're probably not going to improve. If you can't risk losing your title for looking like shit, maybe you don't make improvements. So the whole point is that after 2021, I think Ramy was of the mindset that, look, whatever I do, I'm going to hold on to this title. because Brandon looked that good. And not just Brandon, I mean, Heidi looked very, very good. And it just went without saying. And like, if you ask most people today, even after that hideous delt shot that was put out, I mean, even Nick Strength and Power, still the most popular YouTuber, don't know how, but still he is, said that Rami looked impressive. And just kind of like, just went over the shoulder like it was nothing, you know? Oh, the shoulder, that's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. The guy looks like he's like shooting oil into his delts. That's not a big deal. And other people have said to me, well, nobody's gonna shoot oil into their delts 3 months before the Olympia. Well, maybe not most people, but I think he did. And if he didn't, what's up with that shoulder then? That's the thing, guys. I mean, we could talk about what it isn't, but there's something wrong with that shoulder. And the other thing too, he's not like some random bodybuilder. He's Mr. Olympia, okay? So Mr. Olympia needs to look a certain kind of way, and that is not the way Mr. Olympia should look. So, all I can say is it's gonna be a shit show come December if that guy wins, because, you know, everybody else is gonna look better, and it's just gonna be really, really awkward to see a guy with what clearly looks like a sight enhanced delt, you know, up there on stage against Brandon Curry, Hadi Chupin, and the other guys that really honestly brought their A game to the best bodybuilding show on earth. And then you've got this thing on his shoulder, and who's to say? It's not just his shoulder. I mean, his legs have always looked oiled up to me, always. Not oiled up, like, you know, oil in them. So, and what is the point? Again, what is the point? You're well over 300 pounds. You're the biggest bodybuilder. You're the widest bodybuilder. Like, what is the point of just continuously being bigger and bigger and bigger? Like, I don't understand, you know? But hey, maybe that's the secret to being Mr. Olympia, you know? Maybe the secret is you like throw your aesthetics out the window and you just come looking as massive as possible. But that is not what bodybuilding is about. That is not what Frank Zane did. That's not what Bob Paris did. That's just a shit show. So, in any event, that's my 2 cents on Rami and his bizarre looking shoulder. I got to write an article for Iron Magazine about it. So, I thought it was really cool. But then again, I'm biased. I think all my articles are really cool. Do it for this edition of Walk and Talk, Sightseeing and Cardio here at StrengthAddicts, powered by TitanMedicalCenter.com. Like I said, nothing wrong with doing your cardio on a treadmill, but every once in a while, nothing wrong with taking a walk, seeing some cool people, some cool things, breathing some fresh air, just getting out of the same old,